Okay, here we are going to use substitution to solve a nonlinear system. Okay, you wouldn't know this yet, and we don't do it in this course. You do it in pre-calculus. But this first equation is the graph, is the equation of a hyperbola. And the second equation is the equation of an ellipse. And I mean, just looking at it, that would tell you that a hyperbola looks something like this. An ellipse looks something like that. You know, it could have up to 4 intersection points. Okay, if we use our steps for substitution, the first step would say solve one equation for one variable, and then substitute for that variable in the other equation. Well, notice in this particular system, which is not always the case, but in every case you have x squared, y squared, x squared, y squared. So we really don't need to solve for x or y. We need to solve for x squared or y squared because that's the way we're going to plug in for them. Okay, you could choose which one to solve for, but I think I would choose to solve this first one for x squared. And I'll do that by adding y squared to both sides. Okay, next step in substitution would say to substitute for that x squared in the other equation. So in place of x squared, I'll write y squared plus 9, because that's what x squared equals. And I still have my plus 9y squared, and I still have the equals 169. But the important thing now is I have one equation and one variable. So combine like terms, I've got a 1y squared and a 9y squared, which is 10y squared, plus 9 equals 169. I've got 10y squared equals 160, subtract 9, both sides. That tells me that I've got y squared equals 16. Right? But now I do need to know y, not just y squared. So next I will take the square root of both sides. Y equals plus or minus 4. Don't forget the minus. Right? So that's substituting into the other equation and solving for the variable. Now we need to go back to the result from step 1, which was this. Right? That was our first step. And substitute to solve for x. Well, we don't need y. We don't need plus or minus 4. We need y squared anyway. So that's what we're going to replace. For y squared, put in 16. So x squared equals 25. X equals plus or minus 5. Right. That tells us that we have 4 points. We have the point 5, 4, if they're both positive. We have the point -5, -4, if they're both negative. We have 5, -4, and we have -5, 4. But because x and y can both have 2 values, we're going to have 4 points, which is kind of what we expected when we crossed a hyperbola with an ellipse.